Hi everyone. So this video is about the periodic trend properties of all block elements. Okay. So when we start studying about the periodic table, about the S, P, D and F block elements, where we'll get confused with the periodic trend. So what happens to the atomic radii along a period, down the group, okay, why it varies, what is the reason for that one, what is the cause for that one, okay, like different questions will appear and it becomes difficult to remember all those. So here is, I have summarized the different trends where we're going to study first with the S block elements, that is group 1 and 2, where I'll going to cover the 12 periodic trends with explanation. If the change occurs, why it will going to happen, that also we're going to study. Okay. So as I told, we're going to discuss the 12 properties, where I'll going to do 3 videos based on the 12 properties, where each video I'll going to discuss the 4 properties. Okay. Yes. So here, as I have already written, as you could see over there, it's a S block element. So we know that in our periodic table, group 1 and 2, okay, is nothing but what? The S block elements. Why we are going to call it as a S block elements? Because when you start writing the electronic configuration of those elements, their outermost configuration ends with a S orbital. That is the main reason. Okay, where the group 1 includes all these elements, and before here we will going to have a hydrogen. Okay, that I have written separately. It is because in some cases hydrogen exists or behaves as a S block element. In some cases it behaves as like a what we can say the P block elements. Okay, it can exist as a proton like a H plus, and it can exist as a hydride ion as a H minus ion. So it is highly electropositive. In some cases it exhibits the different properties. So for that reason, even in your first year chapter, you have studied the hydrogen in a separate chapter, right? Okay, so that's why I have kept that hydrogen separately over here. Now here it is starting with a lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and the francium. Okay, this is a group 1 element. Okay, this group 1 element is also known as what, dear students? It is known as alkali metals. Okay, they are known as what? The alkali metals. Okay, so like we have what we can say 18 groups, and how many periods? We have a 7 periods, right? 7 periods, okay, in our periodic table. So these are what we're going to call it as a periods. Okay, and this vertical columns are known as what? The groups. Yes, that is fine. And about how to remember the element name, I have given the video. You can just go through that one. I'm going to mention some of the mnemonics, okay, through which you can memorize or remember all the elements name. And even I have given the magic numbers, how to remember their atomic number. Okay, so that also video I have done. You can go through that one. I'm going to mention in the description box. Okay, yes, so this is a little information regarding the group 1 and 2. So as I told, group 1 we're going to call it as a alkali metals, and group 2 we're going to call it as a alkaline earth metals. Okay, this is called alkaline earth metals. Okay, there is a reason for them to call as alkali metals. So as the alkali shows, it is they are basic in nature and they readily react with the water to form a hydroxides. So we know that hydroxides are basic in nature, so that's why we're going to call it as a alkali metal. Similarly, alkaline earth metals, the group 2 elements are called alkaline earth metals. It's because they readily form a hydroxide, they are basic in nature and they are available in the earth crust. That's why they are called like a alkali earth metals. Okay, yes. So let us, the main thing that the video is about the atomic trends. Okay, so as I told, and I'm going to mention that one here, that so these are nothing but what? Periods. The horizontal rows are nothing but a periods, and down the column we're going to call it as what? Groups. Okay, now we will study the properties. Here what happens as we go down the group? Here let us go with atomic radii. So here what happens? Okay, atomic radii as we go down the group. Okay, so we know that after lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, like as we go down the group, the atomic radii or the size of a particular element goes on increasing. Okay, why? As we go down the group, so this is how you can remember. So as we go down the group, there is an increase in the, okay, so there is an increase in the atomic radii even for the group 1 as well as for the group 2. Okay, how? As we go down the group, so you could see the arrow mark over here I have written. Okay, so as we go down the group, the atomic radii, okay, or the size of that particular element goes on increasing. Okay, what is the reason for this increasing? Is that it is because whenever from lithium 3, okay, so when the sodium comes, the electron will enter into the next shell. So if you want me to show, like, see here, if a lithium is around what is 1s2 2s1, that is what the configuration, okay, when it comes to lithium. So when it comes to sodium, what happens? 1s2 2s2 2p6, okay, 3s1. You could see this is a second orbit, okay, and here the third orbit is entering. So this is how the electrons for this, okay, and when it comes to this is a nucleus we have, okay, we have 1s here, we have 2s here for the lithium. But when it comes to sodium, we have this is a nucleus, this is 1s, okay, 2s, 2p and 3s. Okay, so what happens when you compare, the electron always enter into the next shell as we go down the group. So from lithium to sodium, the extra shell is added, that is the electron will enter into the next shell. From sodium to potassium, again it enters into the next shell. Okay, so what happens when the electron will enter into the next shell? Obviously the size goes on increasing. Okay, so size increases, so the attraction between the nucleus, attraction I will just going to show you the attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell, what electron will decreases. Okay, the attraction of this protons or the nucleus towards outermost electron, what happens? Decreases. So outermost electron almost left free over here. Okay, so what is the trend, students? We could see here as we go down the group, so the what we can say, atomic radii or the size of the elements, what happens? Increases. Okay, so according to that trend, so can I mention here as lithium? Okay, lithium has like this is what the trend, the less atomic radii compared to sodium, compared to potassium, compared to rubidium, compared to cesium and the francium. So among all, lithium will be having a smaller size, okay, followed by the sodium, followed by the potassium, rubidium, cesium and the francium. Okay, similarly for the group 2 elements also, here what happens? As we go down the group, the size increases. It's because the electron will enter into the next shell, so that the size goes on increasing, the radii goes on increasing. So beryllium is having a small atomic radii, followed by magnesium, followed by calcium, followed by strontium, followed by barium and radium. And one more point, francium and the radium are the radioactive elements over here. Okay, yes, so this is about what the atomic radii. Next, let us move to the ionization enthalpy. So one more property I need to means here only. So as I told you, people are down the group, it increases, but if we go along a period, okay, so here what happens along a period like this, when we go lithium, beryllium, when it comes to here p block elements, okay, we're going to get a boron, carbon, like that I'll going to discuss in the upcoming videos. Okay, so here what happens, as we go along a period, the atomic radii, what happens? It decreases. Okay, means compared to lithium and the beryllium, which will be having the smaller size or the small atomic radii, it is a beryllium. Why? It's because as we go along a period, the next electron will enter into the same shell, not to the next shell as we saw down the group. How? I'll just going to show you. So we have a lithium, that is 1s2 2s1. Okay, 1s2 2s1. So after lithium along a period, what we have? Beryllium. Okay, so it is atomic number 4. So can I write 1s2 2s2? Right here what is happening, 2s1 we have here 2s2, means that one extra electron is entered into the second orbit itself. Okay, it is not entered into the next shell, it is entering into the same second shell over here. So what happens, obviously the force of attraction increases. Okay, size will not increase because the electron is entering into the same shell, so the attraction between the nucleus and the outermost orbit increases, so size goes on decreasing. Okay, so along a period, this is a common trend, along a period what happens, the size or the atomic radii goes on decreasing. Okay, so here lithium, or we could say in a periodic table we have, okay, this group 1 element, that is a group 1 element from lithium to francium are those which have the large atomic radii compared to other elements. It's because, as I told, along a period size goes on decreasing, the atomic radii goes on decreasing. Okay, so repeating, along a period the size decreases, down the group the size increases. Okay, yes, that is about the atomic radii. Similarly, next property is ionization enthalpy. So what do you mean by this ionization enthalpy, or ionization energy also we're going to call, and we can represent it by IE. Okay, so it is nothing but what, so as I have written here, as you could see the elements over here, they are the stable elements now. In order to become an ion, okay, so it is the energy or the enthalpy, okay, required to remove an electron from the given element, from an isolated neutral atom also we can call. Now I want to remove an electron from the lithium. Okay, similarly I want to remove an electron from the sodium, potassium, like that. If the sodium, if I remove one electron, it becomes what, Na plus. Okay, so here what happens, ionization energy, repeating, it is the amount of energy required to remove an electron from the isolated neutral atom. Okay, from the atom we need to remove an electron. Now what happens if the size is very less? Okay, if you could see here only what we have here is lithium. Okay, so here what is happening, the size of a lithium is very less, dear students, so that what happens, even this outermost 2s1 electron we have, no, that also is in great attraction with the nucleus, because the distance is less here, the size is very less, so that the effective nuclear charge is more, means what, this nucleus where the proton is present with a positive charge can hold the outermost electron strongly, because we know that the opposite charges attract with each other. Okay, so what happens, size shrinks. So if the outermost electron is strongly held, if I want to remove the electron from this outermost shell, it is very difficult to remove because of a small size, because of effective nuclear charge, because of a strong force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electron. So in that case, the ionization energy that I need to provide is very high, or it is more. Similarly, come to a sodium here. What happens to the sodium compared to lithium? The size of a sodium is high, right? Means a bigger one. So the electron is present at the 3s1. Okay, so here what is happening, since the distance is more, since the size is more, the proton that are present in the nucleus will not attract or will not put its force to the outermost electron that much as compared to the lithium. Okay, so compared to the lithium, here the effective nuclear charge is little less, so I can remove this electron. Okay, that the ionization energy that I am giving to remove this electron is little less compared to the lithium. Okay, that means what? That means the trend becomes, as we go down the group, the ionization energy decreases. The ionization energy decreases because as we go down the group, the atomic radii increases, okay, and the size increases, so that the outermost electron is left very free. So we can remove the electron from the outermost orbit in an easy way, or by spending a less energy. Okay, so as we go down the group, the ionization energy goes on decreasing. Okay, among these elements, like a lithium will be having the highest ionization energy. It's because of its small size. Okay, similarly as we go along a period, ionization energy, what happens, goes on increasing. It's because, as I told, along a period atomic radii decreases, size decreases. If the size is small, then the effective nuclear charge is more. The nucleus will hold the outermost electron strongly, so that it is difficult to remove the outermost electron, so we need to spend more energy. So along a period the ionization energy increases. So down the group, what happens, the ionization energy goes on decreasing. Okay, so here the trend I can write here. Lithium will be having the more ionization energy, followed by sodium, followed by potassium, followed by rubidium, followed by cesium and the francium. Okay, so next beryllium will be having the more ionization energy, followed by magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. Okay, this is a trend. Yes, so that is about the second atomic trend. Next one is hydration enthalpy. Okay, hydration enthalpy means it is the amount of energy released, okay, when one molecule of water or the new bond is formed between an element and the water molecule. Okay, here what happens, lithium want to form a bond with a water molecule. That is nothing but what the hydration should happen over here. So for that hydration process, how much amount of energy is released over there? Yes, so here hydration enthalpy, as I told, it is the amount of energy released. Okay, the amount of energy released when a new bond is formed between a metal ion, okay, and the water. Okay, so here what happens, the lone pair of electrons that are present on the oxygen of a water molecule. So we have a water molecule, we have a lone pair of electrons on the oxygen. So this oxygen has a more attracted to the positive ion. So when the new bond is formed, we could say the hydration, or it is the given ion is hydrated, okay, and the amount of energy will be released over here. Now comes what happens if the size is very small. Okay, if the size is very small, what happens, the hydration enthalpy is very high. So on what basis we could say, let me tell, as I told, it's an ion. Let us write lithium with plus. Okay, so we have a group 1 element with a positive +1 charge. Okay, +1 +1 +1. Okay, so what happens, as we, for the second group element, we have +2 +2 +2 +2 +2 to attain a stable state. Okay, so as we go down the group, so remember the trend is common for group 1 and 2. As we go down the group, the hydration enthalpy decreases. Okay, the hydration enthalpy decreases. It's because the size increases. Okay, as the size of an ion increases, the hydration enthalpy decreases. It's because the outermost electron or like a left free, and there is a relation that you need to remember, that hydration enthalpy, I'm just writing over here only, hydration enthalpy is directly proportional to the charge, okay, and inversely proportional to the size. Okay, since when it comes to charge, all are unipositive, no change in the charge, but when it comes to the size, okay, when it comes to size, as we go down the group, what happens, dear students, the size increases. So we know that hydration enthalpy and the size are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, so larger the size, lesser will be the hydration enthalpy. Smaller the size, more will be the hydration enthalpy. So that this point you have to remember. Okay, so as we go down the group, the hydration enthalpy goes on decreasing. So lithium is the one, I am discussing about the group 1 now. Lithium is the one which has got the highest hydration enthalpy. It's because of its smaller size, it get more attracted with the lone pair of electrons of the water molecule and more hydrated. Okay, energy released is high, and that hydrated molecule formed is highly stable. Okay, smaller the size, more will be the hydration, more will be the hydration enthalpy, more will be the energy released, and more stable it will be. So that the order or the trend will be lithium will be having the more hydration enthalpy, followed by sodium, followed by potassium, rubidium, cesium and the francium. So where cesium, let's take this one only, okay, since it's a radioactive element, cesium is having the less hydration enthalpy. It's because of its larger size, okay, do remember this point. Next one, similarly when it comes to the group 2, the same trend, as we go down the group, the hydration enthalpy decreases. It is because the size increases. So among all these elements, beryllium will be having the more hydration enthalpy, followed by the magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and the radium, okay. Yes, since it's because of hydration enthalpy and the size are inversely proportional. Now if I need to compare between the group 1 and the group 2 element, the hydration enthalpy of this group 2 element is very high compared to the group 1 element. Why? It's because the charge here, hydration enthalpy is directly proportional to the charge. So when it comes to alkali metals, we have a +1 charge. When it comes to alkaline earth metals, we have a +2 charge, dear students. So that what happens here, the +2 charge is high, so hydration enthalpy will also be high, okay. So this is what the hydration enthalpy trend. So as we go along, not it comes over here, let us take between the lithium and the beryllium, okay, between the lithium and the beryllium. So as I told, as the size is less, okay, the hydration enthalpy will be more. That is a one point. So between the lithium and the beryllium will be having the more hydration enthalpy. 1 point you can consider based on a size. 1 point even you can consider based on a charge. Between the lithium and the beryllium, lithium will be having the +1 charge, beryllium will be having the +2 charge. So more the charge, more will be the hydration enthalpy. On both the points we could say beryllium with +2 charge will be having the more hydration enthalpy compared to the lithium, okay. So more the hydration enthalpy, more will be the stability. Do remember that point, okay. I hope it is. So in this video I have completed only 3 periodic trends, okay. In the next video let us complete these 3, okay, that is density, melting point and the boiling point and the metallic property. So since density needs a more explanation, where we're not going to see the regular trends over here, okay, there is a slight change in the what we can say the properties, okay. Here the potassium is very light compared to sodium. What is the reason? Compared to like a magnesium, there is a low density for the calcium. What is the reason? So these all things we need to concentrate, okay. So for the next video we're going to discuss, okay, regarding these 3 periodic trends. Thank you.